Greetings, my name is Beonca Giles. This is my policy analysis presentation about homelessness among youth. The policy that I chose to analyze is Runaway and Homeless Youth Act. This slide is my presentation outline where I have the page numbers for each slide consisting of the title page, presentation outline, field placement history, field placement interests and topics, so on and so forth. Feel free to read along or go back if you need to. Okay, I decided to give you guys a little history about my field placement and why I chose the topic of homelessness among youth. Greenbrier Independent Living Agency, also known as ILP, Greenbrier ILP, is a branch of Greenbrier Children's Center, and I'll just give you a little background on Greenbrier Children's Center before I get into my actual field placement. Okay, so Greenbrier Children's Center was founded due to a need for homes for black orphans in Savannah, Georgia in the early 1940s and late 1930s. Since this need was so prevalent, Miss Adeline Graham, a Savannah native, left funds and properties after her death to start a home for these children. In 1944, 5 ladies of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority used the funds above for the above purposes. With all this hard work, Greenbrier Children's Center was founded June 8, 1944. Excuse me. Okay, in Greenbrier ILP. In later years, Greenbrier Independent Living was founded in 1999. It now serves youth of all races who have aged out of foster care between the ages of 18 and 21. Independent living programs were put in place to eliminate the occurrence of homelessness among youth. My field placement interest and topic. My social work field of interest is with family and children, and the topic that I chose was homelessness among youth. The policy that I analyzed was the Runaway and Homeless Youth Act, and this was due to the severe social problem of homelessness. A couple of definitions of homelessness are people living outdoors, people living in shelters, hotels, relatives' homes, friends' homes, or just lives in any kind of temporary living situation due to a lack of their own supportive and sustainable housing. The Runaway and Homeless Youth Act authorizes community-based runaway and homeless youth projects to provide temporary shelter and care to runaway and otherwise homeless youth who are in need of temporary shelter, counseling, and aftercare services. A few statistics, and I have the reference list toward the end of my slideshow for where I got all of these facts and statistics from. Homeless youth pregnancy rates are 5 times higher than that of youth a youth female that is not homeless. This is because youth tend to engage in risky behaviors such as risky sexual behaviors or any kind of behavior that may cause them to be incarcerated. More than 60% of youth are homeless after they age out of foster care. As many in 2 in 5 children are not eligible to receive placement in an independent living agency. 72% of those who slept on the streets or in shelters also couch surfed. 42% experienced 2 or more episodes of homelessness. 52% felt unsafe. 73% experienced an episode lasting more than 1 month. Okay, this is a historical analysis. The Runaway Homeless Youth Act was passed by Congress in 1974. Since then, there have been amendments to this act. This was the first federally funded attempt to keep youth off the street. Due to the success after the passage of this act, many more efforts were made to add to the safety of young adults. One of the amendments that was made to the Runaway Homeless Youth Act was to change the initial statement that this act would serve youth that are age 17 and younger. Now, as of 2006, the Runaway Homeless Youth Act of 2006 states that youth 18 to 21 will also be protected and have rights under this act. Social analysis. Americans realized that there was an epidemic presented in society, and traditionally homelessness was never accepted or viewed as a way of living. The Runaway and Homeless Youth Act establishes agencies that would benefit society by providing shelter to these youth. Economic analysis. The Runaway Homeless Youth Act has had to include funding in its grants. They state specific amounts of money that will be given to each city and state, each each city within a state that will receive funding for all of these programs to be available. The economic feasibility of these programs depends on the amount of individuals who have been assisted. Within the grant, there are specific allotments that are stated verbatim for the expected amount of funding. These funds that are set aside help youth to attain self-dependency and individual responsibility. Political analysis. This policy can help to lessen the instance that individuals may be turned away from the agency. This policy is politically feasible because it keeps a balance among the streets of each city. Congress also passed this law to maintain a democracy and add to the life and liberty of this youth demographic. Policy and program evaluation. The number of people served were taken into account when evaluating the effectiveness of the policy and participation in programs. Programs and agencies are evaluated by documentation, excuse me, such as progress notes, referrals, and intervention methods. Programs are also evaluated by Georgia Shine. Current proposal for policy reform. Policy reform provides room for additional services and facilities that will be able to further assist these youth. Additional funds could be added within the budget of this policy for more mental health certified workers in the field. Mental health is so serious as it relates to youth who have experienced homelessness because they are more susceptible to things that go on, and as I stated earlier, a more risky lifestyle than the average teen. My reference page where you will see the databases I use to complete my analysis and also this PowerPoint. I would like to thank you all for viewing. I hope that you have not only enjoyed but also gained knowledge from my presentation. Please remember that as social workers, we can provide services and refer individuals to agencies with hopes of putting an end to homelessness.